Let's take a look at a couple of fun things which you could add to exercise 3 just to explore a little further. So let's go, I'll go inside the header right before the H1 and let's add an image element like so. And remember, image elements are empty elements. Okay, so they don't end the same as, let's say, like an H1, okay, like a block level element. All right, so they're more like an inline sort of element. All right, but these are called empty. All right, because they just don't end the same way. They don't end with a closing image element. All right, so what we're going to do is add our source. So source equals, and then we have our quote marks. All right, and we're going to add a width equals. We'll have our height equals, and we'll add our alt equals. Okay, so we have a source attribute, width, height, and alt attribute. Now we just need to add the values. I already have the path from the server. So this is a file, this is a image which is in my student folder on the Mat server. And you can see the path to this image. All right. So let's just copy this path. So this is an absolute path to a file I placed in a folder in my student folder, which is a perfect way for adding images to your pen. So let's copy, and we'll go back to our pen, and let's add our source, like so. You might want to drag this over a little bit, okay? Depends on how much room you need. And then the height, I believe is, the width is 144, and the height is 144, and I do not need to call out a unit of measure. And then the alt will be Russ Pryor cartoon. Okay, now I'm adding the width and the height. So for a typical web page, this is perfectly fine. Matter of fact, it will slightly speed up the page because you are having the browser reserve a particular amount of space for this image. Now later on, when we start creating responsive layouts and we want our images and we want our content to be responsive, then we do not want to call out an absolute width or an absolute height. But for right now, these are not responsive pages, and we're just going through and learning some of the basics. Okay, so don't be surprised when we don't use width and height later when we start working with responsive content. All right, let's go ahead and save. And let's take a look at what we have. And we see our image shows up. Okay. All right, so let's go back and just take a look at our H1. All right, so our H1, we have this 500 pixels, okay? And then we have our H1 as well as our image are inside header. So let's just do this. What if we drop down a space like so, and let's target the header element. All right, so we have header, and let's set the width to be, we'll have the width be 600 also. Okay, so width, 500 px, like so. Now the H1, I believe we had margin and padding. So we are working with the traditional CSS box model. So let's use the advanced box model so we don't have to worry about that extra calculation. So before margin and before padding, let's do box sizing and border box, like so. So we're going to use the advanced approach for the CSS box model. So we don't have to worry about the fact that we set this to be 500 pixels and then we would have to calculate in any margin or any padding or any border to get what would be the new width. So let's just go ahead and save. And let's also, in the header after the width, let's place the property text align, and we're going to center. All right, so let's see what happens here. So we're going to save, and let's go ahead and take a look. Okay. All right, so let's go back, and we're going to, on our header here, let's go ahead and place a border just so we can see what's going on. So we'll do border 1px solid, and we'll make this one white just so we can tell which one's which. Okay, either the border on the H1 or the border on the header. So we'll save, and let's take a look. Okay, so we see our header right here is 5. Now that white is a little tough to see. I'm going to change the color just so it's a little easier for you and me to see. We'll make this red, and we'll save. And let's update. All right, so we now see this red, and our header, excuse me, our H1 is moving over this way. Okay, and that's because we have this margin over here on the left hand side, and that's what's kicking this over. Okay, so let's do a couple things. Let's go back to our pen, and on the header after width, I'm going to add margin, and I'm just going to zero out my margin. I tend to place margin and padding on almost every element and then zero them out. Okay, that way I know there's no potential for any default margin or padding. All right, so now let's do padding, and the first value, now if I did 0, that would be on all 4 sides. If I did 0, 0, the first 0 is top and bottom, the second 0 is right and left. If we do this, then you're saying 0 on all 4 sides. So on the top, I'm going to add a little bit of padding. Let's go with 20 pixels. And then I'll have no padding on the right, no padding on the bottom, no padding on the left. Okay, now I want this to be done in the advanced way. So after the width, let's do box sizing again, border box. Okay, so hopefully I did it the same as we did down here. Box sizing, border box on line 28 there. Okay, so let's go ahead and save, and let's see what we have. Oh, I should come back here, and on H1, before I forget, we'll go to margin, and I'm going to remove this 100 pixels on the left hand side and add 0. That way our header, our H1, should move all the way over to the left now. So let's save, and let's take a look. All right, so now everything is centered inside of our header. Now, I haven't told this type how to behave, and that's why this type is centered. And our header, our H1, happens to be the same width, 500, as the header. That's why this appears centered. But this type is centered inside of the H1. The image is being centered because on the header we set the text align to center, and that images will behave, because they're an inline element, they're going to behave in a similar way, so they will center themselves also. All right, let's go ahead and end this video, and we will start another video and take a look at a couple of other fun things we can add to exercise 3.